This is Johnny Doskow. Stay tuned for another Scoresheet podcast. Holy Kadelka!
So this week we're giving Jeff a day off so that we can talk to the Rivercats announcer, Johnny Doskow, about some of the great guys he's seen over the years. Johnny, welcome to the Scoresheet podcast.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Tommy.
Honor to have you on board.
Appreciate it.
So right now I'd like to just talk about some of the pitchers you've seen over the years that have come up through the AAA system. You've been around, how many years have you been doing AAA?
Well, it's my 14th year at AAA. I was in Fresno 3 years, and this is my 11th year in Sacramento. Unbelievable.
So obviously with the Rivercats, you've seen some big name pitchers.
Absolutely.
Zito coming up the pike. Talk about some of the guys you've seen a little more recently, maybe Gio Gonzalez, guys like that you've seen, what your opinion was when they were at the minor league level.
Well, yeah, it goes back, and I remember watching, and we can start with Rich Harden. I know that was a while back, and I remember because Rich is brought to my attention because we just saw him in a rehab start.
Right. He looked pretty good.
He did look good. And he ended up, his first one he struck out 6, and he looked great in his last one too, even though he gave up 3 runs. He was phenomenal. We saw him come up in 2003 when he was with the Midland team. Remember, he retired, I think, the first 49 he faced that year. Yeah, he went back-to-back 7 inning, and then with us, the first 2 2/3 went in Edmonton went perfect. So he was unbelievable when he came up, and he had that 96 to 98 mile an hour fastball, and great prospect. But the Dukeshires and the Gio Gonzalez, as you said, it's been fun. The A's, as you know, they've been loaded with pitching for so long, so we've seen our share of prospects.
Yeah, and in Gio's case, that's a guy I was definitely wrong on because I didn't see it at the minor league level. Then that first year with the A's, he struggled. But he looks like the man now.
Well, he had that raw talent, and he bounced around a little bit. He had 3 different organizations, then finally got to the A's and finally put it together. He always had the stuff. It was just mentally putting it together. You know who helped him, actually, from what I understand, is Dallas Braden. Braden helped him out a lot. So.
Yeah, and Braden seems like that kind of a guy. He's out there. I mean, who was the kid that pitched the other day for Reno?
Barry Enright.
Barry Enright. Yeah. Is he a guy that you can see making it down the road?
Enright's got a chance. Another 209 guy. I think Enright's got a shot. Yeah, he's kind of a fringe prospect, but I think he's got a chance. Yeah.
How about for Fresno, obviously, in the more recent years? You've seen Lincecum come up the pipe?
You know what? I never saw Timmy because Timmy, we missed him by about a week because he was just got called up to San Francisco by the time he was going to see us. But I heard from a lot of people, heard from Greenwald, who does the Fresno play-by-play, and Mike Curto does the Rainier games in Tacoma, and he said, "You're not going to believe this guy," and I never got to see him, unfortunately, but...
Madison Bumgarner then last year.
Did see Bumgarner as a 20-year-old, and he was something else. We saw him have kind of a little bit of a meltdown out there as he lost it with the umpire, and that was kind of a part of the maturing process with him, and kind of showed how competitive he is and that fiery competitiveness. And even Dwayne Kuiper says, he's got a mean streak to him, which is great, which kind of helps him, that competitive streak. So he was fun to watch. You could tell even then, just watching him as a 20-year-old, he had the tools and the skills.
And how about that kid? I remember seeing him once, and he had like 11, 12 Ks against Rivercats, Pineda for Seattle.
Oh, Miguel Pineda. Well, he was actually, I tweeted it. He was my call for Rookie of the Year. I called that before the season started. I think he's going to be Rookie of the Year. Oh, amazing. And, he actually, to me, he actually looked better than Felix Hernandez did when I saw Felix the first couple times. We saw Felix pitch, and Rivercats actually got to Felix a few years back before he started to get locked in at the big league level. But, Pineda's something else. He's special.
And on the reliever side, I remember last year when he came into town, all the official scores were telling me, dude, you got to check this guy out. Tim Collins, who's now with Kansas City. What is he, 5'6", 5'7"?
5'6", 5'7", and it's funny. You talk to different scouts, different teams. They go back and forth on him. Some will say, "Oh, we really like him." Others like he doesn't have a chance. But he just has a mate. He has that big wind up with the leg kick. He just gets the most out of his size. Throws hard. It just shows you don't have to be 6'3", 220 to throw hard. It seems like you watch and you're like, oh, he's going to hurt himself. Oh, that strain on him. But he's fun to watch. I think he's got a great future. I think he's going to be there for a long time.
Yeah. How about some pitchers that you've maybe that are currently in the minors that are on their way up? Maybe you've talked to some scouts. Who are some of the names that you've heard of or seen that you think, okay, look out for these guys in the next couple of years?
Well, from the I'm trying to think from the A's side. The A's have some Graham Godfrey. Godfrey's one guy who was great because he wasn't even on the 40-man roster, and he was the guy that was taken. The cat's going in the background, but Graham Godfrey's a guy. Graham Godfrey, big cat fan, but Godfrey is a guy, and Travis Banwart. Banwart's a guy that I think has a legitimate shot. And he's had a couple of shaky outings, but I think he's got a good chance of making it too.
All right, that about covers it for the pitching side. So we'll split this up into 2 podcasts.
Okay.
We'll talk about hitters next.
Okay, sounds good.